Hello, I'm Navya from the 2017 MBBS batch, currently doing my social obligation service in Tamil Nadu. I am just here to talk a little bit about my experience doing the rural bond. Just an overview of what I will be covering now. What is rural bond? Why is it important for you? My experience of a few friends, what to do before choosing a center, and how to address the anxiety that you have before you go to a center. So, what is rural bond? One of the main objectives of St. John's is to serve the underprivileged, particularly those without access to good healthcare. Though this is now more common in government colleges today, from its inception, St. John's had always prioritized this mission. It exists to ensure that medical graduates work with vulnerable populations to provide good quality healthcare services, especially for the ones who need it the most. But why is it important for you? So, rural bond brings you back to the truest sense of being a doctor. After 5.5 years of your rigorous MBBS training, where you juggle classrooms, clinics, and internship, it's very easy to lose sight of the reason you entered medicine in the first place. And this experience at a rural center reminds you of that. It also offers an unparalleled level of satisfaction because you're often a resident doctor and you're immersed in the life of your patients, and this allows you to make a more profound impact, and you realize you're genuinely improving the health of a community and not just of a few patients that you see in your OPD. It's also important because it gives you a chance to explore a specialty before you commit to it for post graduation. Many centers are known for certain specialties, be it ortho, surgery, pediatrics, you name it, there will be a center for it. This allows you to see if you truly enjoy the specialty that you've been considering, and it also helps to rule out options that may not be a good fit. Sometimes it will confirm your interest in a specialty, and that's well and good now because now you're going to enter postgraduate training with more confidence and previous experience. The word doctor is derived from the Latin word docere, meaning to teach, and you will all be inevitably continuing medical education as you proceed in this profession. During rural bond, you realize that you are teaching and empowering those around you, be it your patients, colleagues, community, and your first experience as a teacher begins here. Now, a little bit about my experience. I work in the Tiruvallur district of Tamil Nadu, providing free healthcare services for around 31 villages in Gumiripundi and Uttukottai districts. It is run by an NGO called FORRAD, Foundation for Rural Recovery and Development. And my clinic is essentially a bus. Inside this bus, we have a consultation room, we have space for medicines, we have an examination bed, we also have some physiotherapy equipment. A humble but a very functional setup and an example of making the best in a limited resources setting. It was originally designed to bring healthcare directly to people with mobility challenges, particularly the elderly and disabled who otherwise might not be able to travel to hospitals. And like this, each bond center will have some unique purpose around which it works. I have a team, and my team includes a nurse, health workers who are responsible for individual villages, a health worker coordinator who also acts as a pharmacist, a physiotherapist, and a driver who ensures that the bus runs smoothly. We also have community facilitators who join us for broader community activities, which I will talk about in a while. And in this picture, you can see Dr. Tanmay from the 2016 batch, who was the previous bonder in the center. My role isn't just limited to being a doctor. I'm also the leader and sometimes even the acting administrator of the team to ensure the smooth functioning of the bus with the help of the director of this NGO. You realize that you take on leadership roles during rural service, which is important because as you go further ahead in your career, leadership and teamwork is essential, and this serves as your stepping stone. We have a few activities that go on in the center. We usually have the daily OPD clinics, we conduct a few minor procedures, we have health education sessions for the team, for the community, and also in schools. And we also conduct some cooking competitions and also facilitate some movement and exercise classes. Now, daily OPD clinics, our day typically starts around 9:30 to 10, and I usually see common conditions like hypertension or diabetes in the clinic. We also perform some minor procedures, like here you can see earlobe repairs, which is common here due to the heavy earrings worn by the women in the area. This causes their earlobes to tear. Here's a before and after picture of a successful earlobe procedure which we performed in a bus, and an example of how much you can really do in a rural setup. We also conduct health education sessions about every 2 weeks in different villages, particularly about the common conditions that are prevalent in the area. These sessions help us to explain the disease, how to identify symptoms, and how to manage it with lifestyle. Often, patients haven't fully understood the disease before, and so these sessions help them to ask more questions and gets them more involved in their care. And that is the point of rural service, that the community is empowered to take care of their health even when one day you might have to leave. We also do school sessions. We focus on nutrition, and contrary to what we might think, junk food is not just an urban issue and it's prevalent in rural areas as well. Mainly, the only difference I would say is instead of having pizzas and burgers, the children here are having fried snacks, chips, bottled drinks, and they don't eat the food that's prepared at home for them. So we decided to talk to them, and the best place was in schools where the teachers can also reinforce these healthier habits. Through these sessions, we encourage healthier eating habits among the students. Although it takes time for children to fully grasp the importance of this, we keep repeating. One of the unique initiatives that I've seen in this Bond Center was cooking competitions. Initially, it was started to promote millets because the predominant diet of the area included rice, which was causing an epidemic of diabetes. Then we moved on to balance plates, but we realized they were clueless about what it was because when you even Google them, you see avocados and oats, which is not practical in rural India. And so we decided to make the central theme balance plates that they can make with locally available ingredients. And I'll show you a few examples from these competitions. Most of them have really tried to make balanced meals with the locally available ingredients. You can say fish and veggies, but some of them also end up creating high carb treats like laddus with the millets. Uh, we win some battles and we lose some, but we carry on. The important thing is they all came to participate. Now we also have some movement and exercise classes which were introduced for both adults and children. Even in rural India, just like urban India, the elders are a little addicted to the TV and children to the phones. And to get them away from screens, we decided this might be a good idea. The children's sessions are usually dance oriented, while the adults mainly benefit from some gentle stretching exercises. And these sessions usually are for once a week for an hour and has now turned into a very nice community activity. So, you see, the point of showing you all of this was that when you work in these areas, you identify them, you're encouraged to actively think of solutions, especially from a medical viewpoint, and you implement them. And over time, you will see the result of what you have done. You become innovators, and this also encourages you to become critical thinkers. And all of this helps to create a more holistic approach to a person's health. So, what makes my experience really unique? First, I get considerably more time with each patient than in typical hospital setting, and I get to understand each patient's concerns. There are often underlying factors preventing them from changing their lifestyle or sticking to a treatment plan, and these only surface after prolonged discussions. And a small clinic helps you to achieve that. Beyond clinical medicine, the bond experience involves more activities like the ones I have mentioned, and so you're never bored and you're always on your toes. Every experience comes with its own set of challenges, and so does this. One is that good quality healthcare is a socio-political issue. So, depending on their social class, depending on where they're from, we realize that accessing healthcare does become difficult, and this is kind of a cultural shock for us. Dealing with quacks has also been challenging because patients come to us after visiting a quack, and sometimes we have to address the consequences of such treatments before we can provide the appropriate care. Another challenge is debunking myths. Could be around psychiatric conditions. Sometimes they have the belief that a fever will go only if they get an injection. These are very challenging because you have to also respect their traditions, their culture. You have to also address why, from where these beliefs came. Only then can you create a lasting change. All of this requires a great deal of patience, and there is also sometimes disappointment when the patient does not take your advice. But the important point is realizing that you got to keep going and you should not give up. What has eased these challenges is the support of my team. I'm fortunate to work with a dedicated group. They're all members of the community and they help to create trust that I, as an outsider, would otherwise take much longer to build. The previous doctors who served their bond here has also made this transition much smoother. I have spoken to almost every bonder who has worked here, and they've all given me their bits of advice, and they've all been just a call away. Additionally, I'm also grateful for the continued support of my college because whenever I need a second opinion, I know I can rely on one of my teachers here at least. Lastly, the community, the population that you serve, majority of them are very appreciative that you decided to show up to help them. While my primary role is tied to the mobile medical unit in Tamil Nadu, St. John's has always encouraged me to do more than just the bare minimum. And one such opportunity came when my NGO started a project in Bihar to address chronic malnutrition in one of the most poorest regions in India. Many of the children we encountered here were severely malnourished. I was there only for 4 to 5 days, and in this time, we spoke to the parents, we spoke to the teachers, and we identified that not only were they lacking in calories, their diet was also lacking in protein. Literally, there was almost zero protein. And even though we couldn't make a big change, decided to start a small supplementary nutrition program. I came back to Tamil Nadu after a few days when the team there continued the work with some of our medical inputs. But the impact has been profound. Still remember one of the girls I met during the first visit. She had very coarse hair, very tired, very low energy. And then they recently sent me a picture of the same girl, and the transformation is nothing short of remarkable. Her hair and skin have visibly improved, and she has definitely much more energy now and is active in school. This shows that you don't always have to be physically present to create a lasting impact. Sometimes, identify the problem and implement a solution, however small it is. It's a powerful reminder of what your knowledge and training here in St. John's can actually do. So, now about a few of my friends so that I can give you a completely unbiased opinion. Tiju works in Kalahandi, Orissa. He has daily OPDs, he has house visits, and sometimes he even conducts emergency deliveries. And he wanted to tell me that this place is actually extremely beautiful and experiences during rural service isn't just limited to medical activities. This is what the place looks like at night without any filters. And this is your true rural Bihar. So, this is something he would have missed if he didn't go there. And I think there are a lot of places in India that we haven't explored, and Rural Bond also gives you a chance to do that. Now, Sandra, she works in a tribal hospital in Gudalur, Tamil Nadu, which is probably your go to if you like surgery. She gets hands on experiences assisting in surgeries and also in the casualty. We have Naveen, who works in a small hospital in Maharashtra, and here you can see him teaching the nurses something that we here are taught in St. John's on mannequins. He is improvising in a resource limited environment, and this just shows how much you step up as a leader and as a teacher. Now we have Namrata. She works in Indore, Madhya Pradesh, in a small hospital which has inpatient care, ICUs, and also she conducts weekly free medical camps. This blends hospital duties with outreach, so she gets a bit of both worlds. Finally, we have Rahul, who is working in Udaipur, Rajasthan, and he usually has to travel about 100 kilometers daily to provide care through majorly home visits. So, what to do before you choose your center? Each center offers unique strengths, so it's essential to research, and the best way to do that might be to connect with the previous doctors who worked there. They will be able to give you insights on the center, the common conditions, the challenges, and how to overcome them. Ensure that it aligns with your interests too, because even though they will keep changing throughout your MBBS, at least once you're halfway through internship, you might have a better idea. If possible, also visit the center beforehand to familiarize yourself with the team and the place. But how will I do it alone? This is a common concern, but it's essential to remember that you have a strong support system. Many have successfully completed this journey before you, and they're all willing to help. One excellent resource is the Johnite Academy WhatsApp group that we have, which is created to connect doctors in rural bonds. It provides real time support, and you can share cases even at odd hours, and you'll always find someone with answers. Before you leave, it's also a good idea to talk to one of your consultants, somebody you're comfortable with. Let them know where you're going and that you may reach out for help, and they're usually more than willing to actually help you out. Additionally, don't overlook the value of postgraduates. They're often in the field, they have practical knowledge, and they're awake at odd hours and always eager to help. For some of you Harry Potter fans, this might be familiar. Well, at St. John's, the same thing holds true. Whether you are doing your bond or you're pursuing your MBBS, don't hesitate to reach out. Help is always available, and you just need to ask. I hope you all have a very fulfilling and enjoyable MBBS journey. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that at the end of your journey in John's, you'll all be excellent and talented doctors, leaders, innovators, and teachers.